Well, he got me pregnant and then disappeared, completely vanished for a whole year. And look, I know some people might say there are women who can't be sure who the father is, but that's not me. I know exactly who it was. We had been out, celebrating my promotion. The night was fun and everyone else left. It ended up just the two of us. We drank too much, way too much, and things went further than they should have. That one night changed my whole life. I found out I was pregnant, and when I tried to reach out to him, texts, calls, everything, he just ghosted me. Total silence. No reply, no responsibility. I was left to handle everything on my own, from the doctor appointments to the late night feedings to figuring out how to pay for diapers and daycare. It was overwhelming, but I did what I had to do because that's what being a parent means. Then out of nowhere, after 18 months, yes, 18 whole months, he suddenly shows up and says he wants to be part of our child's life. Just like that. I was like, wait a second, where have you been? This child has a whole personality now. You don't just get to show up and act like you've been here all along. I told him, if you want to be involved, fine. But you don't get to be a part-time dad with full-time credit. You're going to need to pay child support. And what does he say? He says, I can't afford child support, but I'll pay the daycare bill. Now mind you, daycare is $850 a month. That's no small number. And he claims he only makes $24,000 a year, which makes no sense to me because if that's true, then daycare alone is taking up nearly half of what he earns. Something doesn't add up. He says he's self-employed and even brought his tax return as proof, but he filed it himself. I mean, come on. How are we supposed to believe that's accurate when the person who benefits from the number is the one who wrote it? And besides, he doesn't act like someone living on $24K. He came into court wearing a crisp, expensive-looking suit. I shop clearance. I know a deal when I see one. And that wasn't any clearance rack suit. That thing looked like it cost more than my rent. Meanwhile, I've been juggling bills, cutting corners, and doing everything I can just to make sure our child has what he needs. Now he says he lives with roommates and splits the bills. Groceries, utilities, rent. So that's how he can afford things. But even then, how does someone earning so little still manage to pay almost $900 a month for daycare? It just doesn't make sense. It feels like he's trying to dodge paying formal child support by throwing money at daycare and calling it even. And here's where it gets tricky. The judge explained that legally he can't be made to pay both. It's either daycare or child support, not both. So I'm standing here being told I have to choose, like I'm bartering for my child's needs. That's not fair. All I've ever wanted is for him to take responsibility, not just show up when it's convenient, not just put on a show for the court, but actually step up and do right by his child. I'm not asking for a fortune. I'm asking for consistency, for effort, for fairness. He wants rights. Then he needs to take on the responsibilities that come with them. When the judge asked me what a middle ground would look like, honestly, I said we'd have to talk about it. Because how do you find a middle ground when one person disappeared for nearly 2 years and the other one never got a break? So what would it actually look like? Child support versus daycare. And how would that affect parental responsibilities? Would he get weekends? Would holidays be shared? Because he doesn't exactly live close either, you know? But we're here today, so let's talk it out. As I said, he legally can't be made to pay both daycare and child support. It's just not allowed. You can tell she's overwhelmed, and who wouldn't be? This is her first time dealing with the court system. No lawyer by her side, no legal guidebook, just her instincts and a whole lot of built-up frustration. The judge's patience is wearing thin, and the real question becomes, is she here to find compromise or to deliver legal revenge? What can be done, what can't be done, and what happens with visitation now that he's back? He was completely absent for the first year of their child's life. Totally gone. She covered every single expense. Hospital bills, doctor visits, everything. And during all that, he didn't give her a single cent. Not even a pack of diapers. When the judge asked why, he shrugged it off, saying he was in the same financial situation he is now. Self-employed, no increase in income. But let's be real. 18 months of silence and zero support later, now suddenly he wants a bond with the child? That timing is brutal. She did all the work on her own, and now he's asking for rights without receipts? Nope, that's not how This works. Accountability doesn't take a sabbatical. She repeated it again. He knocked her up and vanished for a year. And yes, she admits some women might not be certain who the father is, but that's not her story. She knows it's his child. The judge cuts in, reminding them both that it takes two to make a baby. And while the responsibility is shared, so is the accountability. But let's focus. There's only one child in this case, and this courtroom isn't here for drama or speculation. She threw in a sharp line hinting he might have done this before, but the judge snapped it right back into place. One kid, one case. Let's deal with what's in front of us. When asked how much he's currently paying, he says something like 130, maybe 133. It comes directly out of his paycheck, so he's not entirely sure. The judge looks at the documents and confirms it's actually 113. And here's the twist. Based on his income, his legal child support obligation is just $349. That's the number. But he's already been paying $855 a month for daycare, more than double what he's required to pay. Turns out he's been overpaying this whole time, voluntarily. Is it guilt? Is it damage control? Either way, the math doesn't lie. He's paying $855 plus $113. That totals $968 a month. The judge clarifies it once and for all. That's the full amount he's expected to pay moving forward. And if the daycare rate ever changes, let's say it goes up to $1,000, he's only responsible for $855. That's it. No matter what changes, that's his cap. But here's the option. If he wants to lower the total amount, he could put the child on his own insurance plan and avoid that extra $113 reimbursement. Accountability with options. Now he's feeling the heat. Almost $1,000 a month, that's nearly half his reported income. But the judge shuts it down. He's already been paying this amount consistently, comfortably even. And now that the court is involved, there's just no walking it back. He's out here splitting rent with roommates and eating ramen noodles. But the law doesn't bend for excuses. It bends for the best interest of the child. And right now that means daycare comes first. Harsh? Maybe. But fair? Absolutely. The judge made it clear. Based on everything they've said, he's already been paying $855 a month for daycare, and that's what benefits the child most. So, that's what stands. If they want to change the arrangement later, they can come back, modify it, and the judge will enter whatever new agreement they reach. But for now, that's it. The judge asked if there was anything else. Anything further? No, then court's dismissed, so what just happened? A dad who dipped for over a year is now paying nearly $1,000 a month. Not out of punishment, but because the numbers speak for themselves. No drama, no revenge, just math. She came for support, he came with a struggle. But in the end, the child is the one who came out on top. If that courtroom twist hit you the way it hit me, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more courtroom realness. He's living with roommates, probably surviving off microwave noodles and splitting bills down the middle, but guess what? The law doesn't care how broke you say you are. What it does care about is what's best for the child. And in this case, daycare takes priority. It might feel harsh, but it's not about punishing a parent. It's about protecting a child's stability. The judge broke it down plain and simple. Based on what both of them have said, he's already been paying $855 a month for daycare. That payment, whether intentional or not, has covered a major need in the child's life. So legally, that's what stands. If they want to change it later, come back, sit down, negotiate,